Hello, people of Gabe Tutorials. My name is Brendan, aka awsmlyellis. My link will be in the description below. Yeah, like you haven't heard that like 90 million times already. Alright, so here's what's going on today. Today we're going to be talking about stat modifiers, and this may be the last episode of my Pokemon Basics tutorial. So congratulations, guys. You might have just advanced to the next level, which will be the advanced stuffs. Yay. So today we're going to be talking about stat modifiers. Now, what stat modifiers are, they're basically things that can either increase moves power, increase moves accuracy, increase your Pokemon's stats to be higher, decrease their stats to be lower, stuff like that, So, let's get on to the video. So, first things first, we're going to be talking about Stab. Now, Stab is same type attack bonus. Now, what this is it basically activates when a Pokemon uses a move that is the same type as it. Now, what I mean by that is like a Breloom, which is like grass fighting type, using a move like Mach Punch. Now, Mach Punch is a fighting type move, so it will get Stab. Now, that will boost the move's power by 150% or 1.5. Now, that will boost Mach Punch from 40 to 60, and yeah, that stuff's yay. Next would be items. Every Pokemon can equip an item, and some items have effect on stats and stuff like that. We'll be getting into that more thoroughly in the advanced tutorial, where I talk about movesets and stuff like that, like good moves that you'll want to run. Just stuff like that. Whoa, falling backwards. Abilities. Every Pokemon has its own ability. This ability can either limit the Pokemon or give them a big boost with their stats. Now, the big thing that I can think of is Medicham. Now, Medicham would be absolutely awful if it wasn't for this amazing ability that it gets called Pure Power. That and Azumarill. Azumarill gets huge power. What both of those do is it increases their attack power to by times 2. So say you have, like, at the end of everything, after all of your training and stuff like that, you have, like, 220. Pure Power or Huge Power would boost that up to 440, which makes that Pokemon kind of deadly. Next would be natures. Every Pokemon has its own nature that can affect any of 2 stats. Now, I didn't type this out, but, I will type it out now, I guess. Except HP. HP does not get touched by natures at all. Your max HP will come from EVs and IVs, which is more stuff that we have to get to. Most of the time, a nature will increase a stat by 10 and decrease a stat by 10%. Now, what that means is, like, say you're running an Adamant nature, which is plus attack minus special attack. Now, Adamant Nature would increase your Pokemon's attack by 10%. So, say you had something with, let's do something easy, 250. That will take 10% of that and boost it to 275. Now, say that your special attack is like 300 or something like that, which I don't know why you'd be running an Adamant Nature. I don't know why you wouldn't just be running a special attacker, other than movesets. It would decrease it to 270, giving your attack the advantage in that. What can you do, However, there are a few natures that have no effect on any stats. Basically, what this is, it's like, I think Bashful Nature is plus attack minus attack. It just keeps your stats balanced so you can't get your max in that stat. Next would be EVs. Most people don't really know about EVs, and EVs are kind of, like, very difficult to explain sometimes. But I'm gonna talk about this like as easily as possible, I guess. Every Pokemon has a stat that they excel in the best, so we're gonna use Crobat. The Zubat family: Zubat, Golbat, and Crobat. Now, the stat is more than likely the Pokemon's EV yield. An EV yield is the amount of effort points a Pokemon gives off. Effort points are EVs. So, when okay, say you were to defeat a Zubat. Zubat's really fast, right? So that's going to be its main stat that it gives off an EV for. Now, the EV that it gives off will be 1 for Zubat, 2 for Golbat, and 3 for Crobat. If you think of it in terms of, like, evolutionary standpoint, you'll see, like, how it is, like, Um, ah, fuck. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, just think of like what a Pokemon is best at, like Heatran. It's very good with special attack, stuff like that. So it would give off a special attacking EV. Just think of like all the Pokemon that you know, and look at what their best stat normally is, and that will tell you what the EV yield for that Pokemon is. Now, a Pokemon can have up to 255 EVs in any two stats for a max of 510 EVs that can be distributed as you like to any of the 6 stats, which I talked about in episode 1. Now, you can only have 255 EVs in each stat, and you can only have 255, like just those 255 in 2 stats. So, like, if you wanted to have, like, if you wanted to give 255 to attack and speed, you can do that, but you can't have, like, 205 EVs in attack, defense, speed, special attack, special defense. You can't do that. So you can only do like that stuffs, you know. So you can only have 255 in each of only 2 stats, which would give you a max of 510. Now the 510 you don't have to exactly do 255 in for 2 stats. You can distribute them however you want. So you can put like 100 in HP, attack, defense, speed, special defense, and then put the rest into the other stats. You know, you can do as you will, but it's smarter just to have 255. Now, when you take the amount of EVs that you put into a stat, you want to divide it by 4. So, say that we were doing like 252, which is like the golden number to put into a stat. 252 divided by 4 would equal 64. Now, 64 is the maximum amount of EVs that you can put in, is the maximum, like, stat boost that you will get from Pokemon. And, crap, I'm showing you the wrong thing. Now, the number that you get from dividing it by 4 will go into the stat that you are EV training in. Now, EV training is really annoying, so what I would actually suggest you do so if you wanted to, like, do like Wi-Fi battling, like online with people, and you wanted to have like EV trained Pokemon with the right IVs, which is what we're going to get into next, I would suggest using a program called Pokegen or Pokesav. Just look them up on yourself, just Google it, I guess, and that'll work for you. Excuse me. And that 64 that I was just talking about will go into that stat as like extra, and it will just like affect your stat. Like say you have 236, and then you put 252 into that Pokemon, you can like that 64 goes into that stat, making it 300. Do you see where I'm going with that? I hope you guys do. It's smart just to put 252 and 252 in something, and then you can just take that extra 6 and put it into some other stat. So 2 EVs basically are just completely dumped, and you can't use them at all for anything. So that's basically it. Okay, so now the last thing that we have to cover today are the IVs. IVs are every Pokemon has individual values. The minimum of them is 0 and the max is 31. However many IVs you have, it goes into the stat, and that gets added to the stat. Now say that you wanted 250. Now say that you were running 252 HP EVs, and you had that 236 that we were just talking about, and it got boosted to 300. Now say you have max HP IVs, that'll go into the stat as well, making it 331. That's basically it. If you guys understood that, then hooray. I'm not too sure if I explained everything that well. I know for a fact that I didn't explain the EV yields very well, but I'll just go into that later on, I guess, if you guys want me to. But yeah, that's basically it. Everything here is here, so yeah. In this part, I talked about stab, items, abilities, natures, EVs, the EV yield of a Pokemon, how many EVs you can have in each stat, and IVs. Now, that's everything that is basically covered in this part, so thank you guys for watching, and subscribe to the Cave Tutorials, subscribe to me, and subscribe to my partner in this thing, PhoenixMan1015. So that's everything that I have to cover for today. I'll see you guys next time.